You know, I remember when we had the Ananda house in San Francisco back in the 1980s and helping to direct it. And our finances were not doing that well. So a number of us went out and got jobs. And I worked across in Oakland at Jack London Square for this startup computer company. Now, there weren't that many startup computer companies back in 1983. And I had no idea what a computer functioned as. But I was just helping them in various ways. And couple of the people were devotees that had lived in the Ananda house. But I had to take this arduous journey from San Francisco, where the house was, over to Oakland. And it meant taking the Bay Area Regional Transit, the BART underground thing. And it meant taking some of the trolley cars in San Francisco. It was a long journey. And I remember the first time I got on this thing, I thought, wow, all these people. And it just felt like sardines squished together. And I thought, no, here's a choice. Here's a time when I can choose to be in this frustration mode, or just be in a daydreaming mode, or I can meditate. So I would just do Hong Sa. I'd close my eyes, because half the people were sleeping, of course, with their eyes closed, so it wasn't unusual for me to close my eyes. So I just would do Hong Sa, and what I found is that it elevated that presence of the divine, even in the unusual behaviors that would come across. I remember one time having to teach a class. We had our center quite a distance away from Ananda House. The center was out in the avenues near Golden Gate Park. And one time I had to take the bus, and it was the 22 Fillmore bus. And the 22 Fillmore bus went through some very interesting parts of the city. And so I was coming back, and it was late at night after teaching a meditation class. And I got on, there was a handful of people. And then these 3 guys got on, and they had a big boom box. It was, remember, back in the early 80s, and people had boom boxes. And they had it on. The bus driver said, hey, let's cool it, turn it off. But they were kind of rough. And then I thought, oh, this is interesting. And then the next stop, this man and this woman got on, and they looked rougher. They looked even more tough. And I thought, I'm just going to meditate. I'm just going to meditate. And then, to my surprise, you know, after another 5-10 minutes, the 3 guys that came on with the boombox started to do some things and started to tear apart things. The man and the woman flashed out their badges and handcuffed them. They were the police. And I was thinking, they were rougher and tougher looking than the 3 guys. So you never know. So whatever, I took it, now it may not be true at all, but I took it that my meditation at least created an environment where something would change. I'm not sure it was peaceful, but it was peaceful when they all left. But it's just that way, you know, we can see in a light way that we have many opportunities. And the other thing we can do is we can expand the sense of joy in our lives. We can do that with God's presence.